Next on the news at 10, residents of Tuscaloosa marched in protest today against a federal appeals court ruling on Alabama's controversial immigration law. Also, 2 Tuscaloosa businesses are opening their doors for the first time since the April 27 tornado. Richard?
Yeah, Tamika, coming up, the home team weather. Nice weather's moved in from the north. Plenty of sunshine over the next few days. We'll talk about your weekend forecast in the tropics. Home team weather's coming up. Stick around.
And a Tuscaloosa retailer is opening up their doors after hours for UA freshmen to find those last-minute back-to-school deals. The news at 10 begins now.
You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tamika Alexander. We begin tonight with big news coming out of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals surrounding Alabama's immigration law. In tonight's top story, the court is deciding to strike down the law's provisional allowing state schools to check on citizenship status of new students. The 11th Circuit Court ruled that the provision wrongly singles out children in the country illegally, but the court is upholding certain portions of what is being called the toughest immigration law in the country. The 11th Circuit was the first appeals court to consider the school's provision. Separately, though, the court is still saying police officers can continue checking immigration documents for the people they stop. Back here in Tuscaloosa, an impromptu crowd formed outside of the federal courthouse. WVUA's Travis Leader is there, and he joins us live, and he has reaction from those who took part in today's rally. Travis?
Thanks, Tamika. It was a raucous scene here at the Federal Building just a few hours ago. But even though the protesters began here, they eventually took their pickets and went down University Boulevard to the University of Alabama campus to make a symbolic gesture. Protesters with pickets and signs marched at the Federal Building moments after the 11th Circuit's ruling. Some undocumented Alabama residents still fear the powers police still have. I would rather face and fight against unjust laws than have to go back and risk my life in the face of drug cartels. The protesters faced minor policing, but no arrests as they took their signs and chants to the corner of University and 21st Avenue. One protester joined with some of the undocumented picketers in hopes to relive what he believes was a successful protest of Alabama's past.
I'm old enough to remember the civil rights days when people protested laws that they thought were unfair, and times changed over time, and that may come to pass here.
They then took their march down University Boulevard through the Strip. As onlookers watched, not many showed active opposition, but one stopped to tell me the laws are in place for a reason, and they need to be followed.
The state laws are fine. The way it is, if you're going to come to this country, do it correctly, please. I know it's tough, it's not easy, but if you want to be here, you need to do it correctly. We don't need people cutting the system down.
Their final stop on their march was a symbolic one, as the protesters stood where one of the major moments of the last major civil rights era took place, Foster Auditorium. One undocumented 20-year-old believes it's time to break the barriers when it comes to equal rights for all individuals.
I graduated, a lot of my counselors were like, Victor, you're just wasting your time. And my situation is not unique. There are thousands of other undocumented youth who have their own personal George Wallace just standing in front of the door telling them they can't go in and pursue higher education.
Thank you. Now, many people with the Somos Tuscaloosa organization came out here to protest. I spoke with a couple of them, and they say it's highly unlikely they will see any changes to the state law because of the way the state legislature is set up. But they hope in the long run, with enough protesting, they will win their own civil rights battle. Tamika?
Thanks, Travis. Shortly after the ruling came down from the appeals court, Governor Robert Bentley released this statement. The essence of Alabama's immigration law has been upheld by today's ruling. The court is recognizing the state's authority to inquire on immigration status in certain circumstances. This law is needed because the federal government has refused to enforce its own policies. An alleged assault victim is deciding to not seek charges against Ferguson Center Director Carl Bacon. According to District Attorney Chris McCool, the state of Alabama is dropping the assault charge mainly because the 18-year-old victim requested it. According to police reports, the 18-year-old was threatened and faced physical harm in a southern Fayette County field off Highway 43 2 weeks ago. Bacon also allegedly choked the victim and told him he was going to lose his job and marriage. The teenager retaliated and got away after biting Bacon on the ear. State Senator Greg Reed was a guest at the Northport City Council meeting this evening. He announced legislation affecting the Walter Energy Project. Senator Reed talked to council members about a coal severance tax where Tuscaloosa would benefit from the amount of coal produced in the county. Before legislation, some Alabama counties were receiving a coal severance tax even without producing coal. Tuscaloosa County produces the most coal of any county in the state, and with the new legislation, the severance tax will reward the county based on production rather than a fixed dollar amount. Senator Reed also said the Walter Energy Project is a $1.2 billion investment and will bring many jobs to West Alabama counties.
At full employment, you're going to have 500 to 550 employees that will have income somewhere between $90,000 and $120,000 a year, including their benefits. So if you look at that kind of an employment opportunity, really that is one of the largest economic projects that there has been in my district, in Senate District 5, in maybe 30 or 35 years.
On your election watch tonight, the countdown is on to Northport City elections. 1 week from tomorrow, voters head to the polls to select the next mayor and city council members. And we have special election coverage for you on WVUA News at 5. Mayor Bobby Herndon was our guest today. Tomorrow, former Mayor Harvey Fretwell will be in studio. On Wednesday, Frank Chandler, and Thursday, Robert Thomas will be on WVUA News at 5. The election is set for Tuesday, August 28th. If you need to know where your voting poll is located, go to our website, WVUA TV, and click numbers and links. There you will see Alabama voting information. Well, let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. Here is Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. I know a lot of people were wondering how the weather was going to be for the first day of school. We had some nice weather. How's it looking for tomorrow, Richard?
Yeah, to make it perfect weather out there. It feels great out there tonight. No issues out there expected tomorrow. 73 now in the city of Tuscaloosa. How about 60s on the board in most of Shoals, Anniston? 68 right now. 70 down in deep South Alabama. Evergreen right now. The cold front itself just south of Highway 80, so close to Linden and Point South. The moist air still exists tonight. That will change during the day tomorrow. For our Tuesdays, that cold front continues to slide southeastward, but very nice weather going to take over for a while. And here's our forecast for Tuesday. Not that bad. A perfect summer-like day, or a fall-like day really out there. 84 by lunch, 88 by 4 o'clock. Plenty of sun. No risk of rain for our Tuesday, but what about more rain chances down the road? And how about the latest on the tropics? Your forecast is coming up. Stick around.